Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Gareth was a character that basically served as an antagonist in the final episode of The Walking Dead Season 4, and then in the first 3 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 5. So, he only lasted 4 episodes, and he was kind of just sort of a minor villain. I mean, he wasn't like the governor or Negan. He's kind of like that, just not with a very long lifespan. Obviously, the governor and Negan had a longer lifespan than Gareth, but Gareth was a pretty cool villain. Some people feel that he was killed off too early. He was portrayed by the actor Andrew J. West, who did a really good job. I loved his performance as Gareth. I mean, I just loved every second he was on screen. I just, like, when he's eating Bob's leg, he's just like, I want you to know that this isn't personal. Like, it's just, he did an awesome job. And, yeah, I mean, I like the actor and I like the character. As far as, do I think he was killed off too soon? That's kind of tricky, because the story arc, it's from the comics. It's these, I think they're called the Claimers or the Hunters. I think sometimes they're called either one, but no, I think they're called the Hunters. But yeah, they basically, in the comics, it's just this little group of 6-7 people. And I mean, you could also call them the Cannibals. I mean, it's either the Hunters or the Cannibals. But they capture people, and then they cut off their limbs, like their arms, their legs. They cook it, and then they eat it. And their simple motivation is to eat and to survive. They're not, villains for the sake of being villains. They're just people in this world that are struggling to survive and trying to survive, and they think they found an answer. And although it's pretty, horrific, and it's pretty evil what they're doing to people, capturing them, cutting off their body parts, eating their flesh, but they're doing it because they want to eat. They don't want to starve to death, and maybe finding food got really difficult. And in the TV show, Gareth's backstory is even more sad, because he had this whole community called Terminus, and it was supposed to be a sanctuary for anyone and everyone, but then these really bad people came in and took it over and killed and raped women and beat everyone. And Gareth and his people, they fought and killed them and took the place back. But then their belief changed. They didn't want to have that Terminus place. They didn't want the Terminus place to be a sanctuary anymore after what happened to them. And they believed that instead of welcoming people in and having them join their community and expanding the community, they just wanted to welcome people in and then kill them, cut off their body parts, cook their body parts, eat their flesh, so that way they would have an endless food supply. And that's kind of sympathetic. I mean, the backstory of that is kind of sympathetic. I can sympathize with a character that had to experience those things, and then them turning into a villain and having that philosophy. Even if they're wrong, I can sympathize with that community, and I can sympathize with Gareth. And in the comics, it's just this group of like 6-7 people that are cannibals, and then they capture Dale, and they cut off Dale's leg, cook it, eat it, and Dale's been long dead, so they end up doing that with Bob in the TV show. But in the TV show, it starts off as Terminus. It's like 50, 100 people, and then Gareth is the leader. And then once Rick and his group, they break out, and Carol ends up causing an entire herd of walkers to come in. So in the first episode of Season 5, most of the people in the Terminus get killed. So it ends up just being Gareth and, I think I'm thinking Mass Effect. It ends up just being Gareth and his little group of 5-6 people. Those are the only ones that survive. So from there, they become the Hunters and the Cannibals, and this little group, just like the comics. And then they capture Bob, they eat Bob's leg. And then, basically, it just follows the comics from there. They try to trick Rick and his group into falling into a trap, but Rick ends up tricking them. And then Rick and his people, they end up brutally killing them, and they, enjoy it, and it's violent, and it's disturbing. And this basically happens the same way in both the comic and the TV show. But, yeah. Gareth was just sort of a short-lived villain, a short-lived character. He's only in 4 episodes. And there's a part of me that does wish the character lived longer, and there's a part of me that does wish we could have gotten more of this actor and more of this character. And a big part of that is just because of how damn good the actor was. The actor was just awesome. But there's also a part of me that's like, well, it was fast-paced, and there was no filler. The first 3 episodes of season 5, it starts off with Rick and his group, being captured, and they break out and they destroy Terminus. And then the second episode, it's just Gareth and his little group, and they capture Bob, eat Bob's leg. And then the third episode, the two groups fight each other, and then Rick's group kills Gareth and his people. And it's a really good, really, really solid 3 episodes. Not only are all of the first 3 episodes of season 5 really good individually, but they're all together and they're all consecutive. And you could just watch those 3 episodes back to back and just have this great time because they're so good. It's definitely, without a doubt, the 3 best Walking Dead episodes in a row. You're not going to find 3 episodes straight that are that good. Not the first 3 of season 8, not the first 3 of season 7, maybe the first 3 of season 9. I'll have to rewatch them, but season 5 was a really strong season overall, but those first 3 episodes were so good, and you couldn't have that without the Gareth plot being resolved quickly. There was no filler, there was no fat. It was just pure muscle. They didn't have any filler. They could have had a whole half season about Rick's group, playing cat and mouse with Gareth's group, and maybe that would have been cool. But season 3 had a lot of filler. Season 7 had a lot of filler. And those are considered the 2 worst seasons of the show for the most part. So I'm glad that, although Gareth's little plot in the story was started and resolved quickly, it also was a really, really good first 3 episodes of season 5. And like I said, there was no filler. It was just a really good first 3 episodes. So for that reason, I think that Gareth's death is good the way it was. And I wouldn't change it. I like the character, I like the actor, but it's kind of good to have a really good actor in a really good role, and then kill them off quickly every once in a while, if it serves a purpose. And it definitely served a purpose because it was a really solid first 3 episodes of season 5. And then the 4th episode was Beth at the hospital. Yeah, I'm not going there. but yeah, I liked it the way it was. I liked the 3 episodes the way it was. I liked Gareth's 4-episode runtime. I do think it's kind of tragic that the character was so short-lived. Maybe they should have had bits and pieces of him in season 4, and that way Gareth could have lived a little bit longer if he was in a few episodes of season 4 or something like that. But as far as season 5 goes, I liked how they resolved that plot so quickly, and it was just so good, and there was no filler, and people weren't used to that. The back half of season 4 was kind of slow paced, and we'd have entire episodes about just 2 characters walking around in the woods over and over, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden season 5 comes along, and the first 3 episodes have so much going on, and it's not too much going on, it's just done just right. So it's unfortunate, but I do think that Gareth's death was good the way it was, and I wouldn't have changed it. So I don't think he should have lived longer. I think he got killed off appropriately, and it was handled appropriately. And I don't have any disagreements with the character's lifespan, just because of the purpose to the overall story that it served and just how well done it was. But hey, Andrew J. West, look on the bright side. They made a 5-inch figure of you. I mean, there's a 5-inch Gareth figure. The 5-inch Walking Dead figures, they really started to kind of die a slow death, and they're just not making that much anymore. But they made Gareth because they thought it was between season 4 and season 5. So there was that cliffhanger with season 4, and McFarlane Toys thought that Gareth was going to be a big character. They even made it look like Gareth was going to join the quest to go to Washington in the season 5 trailer. They give Gareth a bunch of dialogue that he doesn't even say, we're going to join you and we're going to go to Washington. Gareth literally says that in the season 5 trailer. So McFarlane Toys got confused, and they made a Gareth figure because they thought he was going to be a Governor or Negan type villain, a big villain. But of course he died quickly. But hey, they made a figure of you. That's cool. When you're on The Walking Dead, it's cool to be one of the ones that they got your own 5-inch figure. So that's cool. But yeah, I think Gareth's death was good the way it was, and I wouldn't have changed it. I think he died at the right time. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 325 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 400 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts. Every bit of support matters and is very, very appreciated. We are 75 away from that goal of 400, so hopefully we'll get there at some point. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.